Welcome, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. I'm so honored to be sitting down with the beautiful Miss Mo James. She's a conversationalist. She is the founder of I'm Just Regular LLC, and she is the author of Let's Have a Conversation.
Well, first of all, hello everybody. My I want to say that my book is about having conversations that you may have not had or you wanted to have. Not conversations that fix everything for you, but give you healing, give you a path to it. At least you were heard, you were seen, you were understood. That's what my book is about. Conversations about some of them of a personal nature and how I guided myself through it, and conversations based on how I went through things that were just natural things that we all may experience in life, and doing that and going through those things and how I navigated and got to where I am based on being okay with me.
Thank you for the introduction. That was really good. I'm already about to cry. So what was your inspiration for writing the book?
The inspiration for writing the book. There was no inspiration for writing the book.
Okay.
I wanted to do small group conversations. I wanted to speak to people about, different things that may be on their heart so that they could be heard and they could be seen. When I decided to do that, I went to my friend. Her name is Lakita, and she's my manager now. And I told her what I wanted to do. And telling her what I wanted to do, she said, Mo, let's do this together. We'll speak to small groups and talk to people and let them know that we hear them and that we understand what they're trying to say. We try to help them if we could, and if not, we would try to find professionals that could guide them to the help that they needed. That's what I wanted to do. So when I told her that, she said, well, you know what? Why don't you go write down some of the conversations that, you wish you would have had? So I thought that was strange, but I went and I did that. So I wrote down the conversations, and then when I came back to her, I said, okay, well, I've written down quite a few conversations, so what are we going to do with this, What's getting ready to happen? She said, okay, good, we got our book. What book? Who wrote a book? So I was tricked, right, into writing this book that not only helped me, you know what I'm saying, it made me see how just writing it down, how when you put it on paper, how it matters so much. So that's how the book came about. It came about with just an idea to write something down, not knowing that my manager had the idea the whole time.
Yeah, good manager.
Yeah.
She's real good. You want to keep her.
Yeah, I do. She got me.
So describe the journey that you went through while you were writing.
Oh, wow. Khadijah, the journey was incredible. It was like, as I wrote this, I put everything down on paper as I was having these conversations, and I realized with myself, because I'm writing alone. So as I'm writing these things down, I'm realizing that, because for me, I'm a note person. So if I write notes, it matters. It's important. So now I'm writing it down, and what I'm writing it down is about me and how important I am. It becomes to me. How I always left myself out. So there were tears. There was the introduction to who I really was without just trying to please, or being seen as a good person. It was just this, it was enlightening for me to be able to just say, this is what happened, and I matter now. This didn't have to happen if I knew. But then again, I say that, but I had to go through it. Because there's somebody else that needed to hear that. There's someone else that needs to know that my journey was, it ebbed, it flowed. There were happy moments, there were smiles, there were tears. There were times when I was angry. The journey was, it was hard, and it's still a journey. It's still a journey as you realize what it is that when you see it on paper, this is what it is. But getting those conversations that you see and let's have a conversation are healing. Those parts are beginning to heal and come together as it becomes one.
That's good. That's deep. Okay. So how did you overcome the different feelings such as self-doubt, your fears, just being nervous?
Oh, wow. Self-doubt. Self-doubt is going to always ride with you. It's that ghost that's always going to haunt you. But what I realized was that I'm committed to me now.
Okay.
Since I met me, I'm committed to me. And if I stay committed to who I am, right? Even though that ghost, she shows up, I'll walk right through her. because she can't continue to keep me thinking that, because it's a new fear or a new self-doubt all the time, but it comes back to one thing: I didn't think I was important enough. I didn't think I mattered because I was adopted. And adoption is a wonderful thing, but in my mind it translated as giving myself away. Someone gave me away. They gave me away. They didn't want me. I know better now. You know, I get it now. I was raised by two beautiful people who I call, like I always say, my superheroes, and the hate or whatever I may have had for my mother that gave me away. She's my hero because she had the right thing in mind. She gave me to the right people. So now in my maturity and as I see who I am today, as I've met who I am today, the self-doubt, oh, she there, she nasty, right? But she's not going to break my commitment to me, because my commitment to me is going to get me to the good, no matter what it is, because I've learned that I love me. I know that God loves me. I know that I'm going to be okay no matter what anybody else say. Yeah, you're going to have those moments. Yeah, those moments are real where you go like, maybe I ain't good, maybe I don't, maybe I can't, maybe I won't, maybe I will. But at the end of the day, Khadijah, it's about loving me.
That's good. Ooh, that's deep. Ooh, okay. Sorry.
I'm about to cry, man.
Wait, don't cry now. You're gonna make me cry. Woo. So what would you like people to take away from reading this book?
Oh, wow. I think about that all the time. That it's not about perfection. It's about healing. That it's not about getting it right all the time, but about understanding that we can find peace with us. Not all the time. Everything ebbs and flows. There's high tide, there's low tide. But to know that, you know, I gotta say this. This is for the people who thought nobody wanted them. This is for the people, for whatever abuse or whatever hard time or whatever trial they went to, they thought that nobody cared, that nobody wanted them, that they weren't good enough. That's for them, and also for the people who know someone who feels that way. Because I know that feeling. This is for the people who smile all the time and never express the pain of not really feeling like they're wanted or sure of themselves or secure in who they really are. That is what this book is for. So I want them to take away that there's somebody that knows. It might not be the same thing, but they understand the path that they've been on. Somebody that hears, somebody that sees. There's always somebody that gets it. It might not be identical. There'll be something. But it was for them to know that, yes, you want it. If it's only just by me and I don't know you, yes, you heard. You know, that's what the book was about. So I want them to understand that it's okay to be okay. I want them to understand that there is love for yourself. That without being selfish, without being nasty, you can love yourself and still be a great person. Do not skip yourself anymore. You matter. I want that to come from this book for so many people. I want them to understand consideration and love for yourself is good. Still have it for the world, because that's important too. But that's what I want. I want this book to bring to someone some type of peace, some type of joy. And if it doesn't touch anybody but me, I'm good, because it got me. It got me to meet me, and I'm real happy about that. I'm happy that I know who I am. Trust me, it's still a journey. And the ups and that little nasty girl self-doubt shows up sometimes. But what happened was a mistake. Was I met me. I like her. So I can't let anybody take her away.
Ooh, that's real good. but you don't have to worry about it only touching you, because it touched me. I read that book. I was just like, let me go ahead and highlight this. there are really good parts in that book.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
I want everybody to know it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. That's important to me.
Wow. Ooh, that was really good. What words of wisdom do you have for people who struggle to be as open and to have these conversations, and who struggle to talk with someone about what they are experiencing?
I understand the struggle. I understand it's hard to put yourself out there. I want them to know that I understand that to be able to trust someone with those things that you never wanted anybody to know about you. It's hard, but my words to them are, I'm not saying, oh, just rush out and give it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they need to write it down a little bit. Maybe they need to find bits and pieces of it that they want to share, with someone. But I think that if they can write it down, record it, say it to themselves, hear it, you know what I'm saying? Those things that they struggle, as they struggle with trying to understand their fears and understand their pain. Because the more you don't say it, that's how strong that pain is. The more, but when you can start releasing it bit by bit, whether it's on paper or audio, or you find someone you can talk to that you feel like you can say something to, or even if it's a stranger, because sometimes a stranger is the best person to speak to, because you're never going to see them again 9 out of 10. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're just expressing yourself. That means that the fear is leaving. It doesn't have that hold anymore. If you can't express it, it's still got that hold on you. You got to be able to get it out. That's the only way you're going to find that person you need to meet. You can't let the person who caused it or the situation that caused it still be there. It can't. Nah, you're more important than that. That's how I look at that.
That's a really good way to look at a lot of things, because of the fact that I know sometimes in life we experience so many struggles or so many just obstacles, and sometimes it's really hard, or we get knocked down so hard where we can't see the light anymore. It's hard for us to get up. So I do appreciate the fact that you said to have those reminders, say you can do it, those affirmations in a sense, which I think a lot of people should do.
Yeah, I mean, and it's hard, it's hard to come to that, even when you look at, just step off for a second, like abused women. Abused women want to leave, but don't know how. I know. I'm speaking from experience. They don't know how. They get into this thing, but I can, but there's nobody that's gonna know, and I'm gonna do this, and maybe it'll get better. I'm not gonna say that, oh, they think it's their fault. I mean, there's some women that feel that way, but it's never your fault when it's abuse that comes into play. That part of it, you trying to express that. How do you express that to somebody that understands? Because the 9 out of 10, the natural person gonna say, I wish he would, or I wish she would, because I would do this, I would do that. They're not sitting there. They don't know what's really happening. They don't even know how the emotion, everything that happens with that. But once you release yourself from that, and you start doing it bit by bit, it has to be in your own timing. So I'm not saying, oh, because you see this and you say, well, you know what I'm going to do. No, it's going to come how you want it to come. That's when you know it's for real. You're encouraging me to say, oh, well, I might say a whole lot of things. But until I release that and take care of or take control of wanting, see, it's about wanting to know me, not me with the other stuff attached. Trying to please, trying to do, trying to be, trying to smile, trying to be perfect, because I want you to want me. But I want me. There are two. But when somebody asks you, are you in a relationship? Yeah. With me. I'm the first person I'm in a relationship with. Are you in a relationship? Yes, I am, with me. That's the first thing. And that's the hard thing to get to.
That's really good. So how would you encourage people to get to that point? Because a lot of people don't always put themselves first, or don't know how to put themselves first.
It took me years. Mama used to say, when you get tired of being sick and tired, you'll do it. But for me, it was about just wanting to be comfortable with me. Not wanting to smile, to always be for someone else, because you don't want nobody to think that you're upset because you don't want to upset them. Because then maybe they don't want you. So what I'm going to say is that we all do this at our own pace. We all get there at different times. The only thing I'm asking you to do is get there. Get there before it's too late. It's going to be a whole lot of things that take place. I hope reading this book will get you a step closer to that. I hope talking about this with somebody, even the fact that you just had having a conversation with someone, just a little bit about what's going on. You know when to stop. You know if that person's not the person that you need to speak with. But just to know that if you can move there slowly. I'm not saying you're going to get there tomorrow. Nah. It takes so much more time. And even when you get there, the healing is another process.
Yeah.
So it takes time. It's all in steps. It took you time to grow. It took you time to feel that way. It took you time to get conditioned to that. So it's going to take you time to get to know who you really are without that, and being honest to yourself and loving and accepting yourself. I can't give you a time limit. It's going to be your own pace, but whatever it is, I celebrate it. I celebrate the action toward it. To think that that's what I want to do, I celebrate that. That's what I want. Conversations help, believe me. Even if it's somebody that you really don't think is listening. Because you listening to them and what they're saying may not be positive towards you getting to where you want to be. So then you already know that chalked you up to let you know that this is somebody you don't never need to talk to anyway. So that was a gift. I'm going to took you a conversation to find out that that person ain't trying to see your freedom. Because you trying to free you.
You said about 5 things in there. I'm like, conversation this, she said this, but we're not going to have you read this whole book. It would be nice though. But if you could read an excerpt from Conversation 2 about peace. I thought that was a good one.
Conversation 2. Oh wow, yes. Peace will be different for everyone. And as we grow, our view of what peace is will change. It will depend on the moment. What I meant by this was that peace is ever changing, and it's different for everybody. Peace right now be for somebody watching is the fact that they eating chips and they kick back and they looking at this and they have peace in it. Peace for me is knowing that I've met me. You don't know how much energy and joy that is giving at me. Peace could be such a different thing. I have this thing where I have a gathering where I like to see people sit back and eat after I cooked a meal, and I get so much joy out of it. That's peace for me at that moment. Peace is ever changing. Don't you ever think that, the only peace that I will ever have is sitting by an ocean in a lounge chair. I like that. That's one of my favorite things, right? But peace is different. Sometimes peace is just being able to say no to somebody else because it did not work with your morals or what you felt. That's what I mean by that. I mean that peace is so different. You know what I'm saying? But you got to know that it's your real peace, that thing that calms you, that thing that makes you okay, or that thing that puts you in this happy place. You know what I'm saying? Peace can be happy, soothing. You know, it could be rowdy if that's what it's going to be. But it has to be yours, not someone else's. It has to be what you really, not because I'm with the girls and I'm hanging out, or I'm with the guys and we crump. Is that really your peace? Or you're just doing it for the show? That's what I mean by peace. It changes at every moment and every time.
I like that. And when I read that, I was like, wow, this is good, because I started realizing that is true.
Yeah.
I just really never heard anyone say it. I know at one point I couldn't go to sleep without the TV on because just the noise in my head was too much.
Yes.
But then I got to the point where I need the TV off. I need that me time before I kind of lay down. So it did change. A lot of my perspectives changed, older I get and the more situations that I encounter. And when you said that, I was like snapping and reading like, yes, I love this. She's deep. But
I love you.
Also, another excerpt I would love you to read is from Conversation 13.
Conversation 13.
Yeah.
That's Know Your Judas?
Yep.
You know your Judas. And that excerpt, you have a highlight. Oh, here we go. I love it. I am glad it was me. I'm glad that it happened because now you know me and I know you. What I mean by that is your Judas, that person that does that thing to you that you didn't want to happen, that thing that hurt you and destroyed you. And you're like, why did they do that? Question is now why? As I'm glad you did it. Because now I know you. And you know me. I know what you feel for me. You can tell me you love me after you destroyed me, but I know you, and you're my Judas. We know the story of Judas. He lied, but he stayed in the midst. That had to be a hurtful thing. You know what I'm saying? But in this case, we can walk away from our Judas. We don't have to keep enduring that pain. We don't have to keep going through that over and over again. So for me, knowing my Judas, I know my Judas. You're going to have many more, but that one that destroys you. Like I always say, your enemy smile in your face. That's Judas. You know what I'm saying? You got to call it like you see it. So that's what I meant by that. Know your Judas. You know the ones. How you doing? Good to see you. Next thing you know, they talking about you. They done hurt. They done did something so underhanded you have no clue. That's what I meant by that.
I really like that. That was probably one of my favorite, my top 3 favorite. But last question before we go ahead and wrap this up. What would you tell people to keep them from making some of the mistakes that you've made?
Don't do things that make you totally uncomfortable and will hurt you because you want somebody to accept you. Don't try to prove that you're perfect or you're this great person because you want to be wanted. It's a mask. You know, either they want you or you don't. I mean, I'm not saying be a terrible person, but be who you are. Don't go out your way and skip yourself. You matter. Never, ever. That's so important to me. Do not skip yourself. I did it for years. I did it for so long that it was second nature. No, that's okay. No, that's fine. Whether it meant anything to me or not, or whether it was going to hurt me or put me out my way. I've been doing this since I was a child because, like I said, in my case, I wanted to be wanted. I would tell people that to find out where your space is, you know your circle. Everything that you're in is not meant for you. Like I always say, sometimes saying no is the best way to say yes to you. I'm not saying being inconsiderate. I'm not saying, being nasty and mean. But the people that want you, the people that's there for you, that's going to be in your circle, they're going to gravitate towards you. Now, work is a different thing, y'all. We got to go to work. Everybody at work don't like us. But we got to do what we got to do, and we know how we need to handle ourselves. But when it comes down to the inner you and who you are, you have to understand. And it takes time. I always say, age don't bring maturity. Experiences do. And that is a part of that. You have to experience these things to really figure out who you are and what you want. Don't please the crowd. Understand who you are. That was one of my things. And because of that, I always say I was abused. I was treated badly. Lied to, betrayed. So many things. Trying to be able to be loved. So you gotta love you first. I wrote a fix-it one time. Me loving me has everything to do with how I love you. And that's important.
That's a whole nother book right there.
It is.
Write that down. But thank you, Miss Mo James, for coming on here. Social media.
Yes, you can follow me on I'm Just Regular LLC on Instagram, Facebook, I'm Just Regular LLC, and I think that's got me covered right there. And I'm on LinkedIn as well.
Okay.
Yes.
And where can they purchase your book?
Amazon.
Go ahead.
You can get, let's have a conversation. You can get it on Kindle or paperback.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on here. Make sure you follow Black Unity Movement. You can find us at blackunity.movement.com. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I love the book. Get the book. Seriously, guys. Get the book. Hold it up a little bit more for people. Get the book. She looks so beautiful, and she's a beautiful person inside and out. Support our sister, because at the end of the day, this is about unity. This is about helping each other, and that book will help you. So Thank you, and tune in for part 2.